welcome back to my channel. I'm starting out this video in a wide angle so you can see all of the books that I've got here. I've just been kind of letting books that I've been ordering pile up until I have enough to show you everything that I've got. I have some things from Thrift Books, Book of the Month for March, a few books from Amazon, and lots of books from Book Outlet. I did buy all of these with my own money, so I'm gonna zoom you back in with me and we'll get started. I grabbed a pair of scissors to make my life easier, and let's start with Book of the Month. So I did actually order a book from Amazon that's also a Book of the Month this month because it was going to be cheaper for me to order it on Amazon. So last month was my first month of Book of the Month, and they did not send my hat, so they sent in with this box. It says book person. This is so cute. This is part of the reason why I actually started ordering from Book of the Month, because I wanted this hat. And the book that I went with is Wild Dark Shore by Charlotte McConaughey. I haven't read anything by her before, but this one sounded the most interesting out of all of them. So I'm looking forward to reading this one, and I'm probably just going to go into it a little bit more blindly. Then from Amazon, I got two books. So the book that I got that ended up being cheaper on Amazon is Our Infinite Fates by Laura Stephen. They've loved each other in 1,000 lifetimes. They've killed each other in every one. I love the sprayed edges on this book. It is just so beautiful. I feel like this is a book that I'm going to absolutely love. And then the other book I got from Amazon was the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This is a book that I've seen a lot about, and I know this was very popular back in like 2020, so it is one that I wanted to pick up, and probably one that I'll read pretty soon. Let's jump into the books I got from Thrift Books next. Okay, now for Thrift Books, I do have a teacher account, so I have a coupon code where if I buy 4 books, I get a 5th one free, I believe for all books under $10. And then I also, my free books, whenever I earn rewards, are worth $7 instead of $5, and I earn points faster, so that's why I get a lot of books from Thrift Books. And a few of these in here are for my classroom, so that's why I mentioned that. So I got a Wings of Fire book for my classroom. I got the second Harry Potter book. And then more into books that I got for myself. Got the Messy Lives of Book People. I love reading books about books, like just if the theme is around something to do with books, I feel like it's a book that I'm gonna love, so I picked that one up. Then we have a Storybook Wedding by KG Mishi. This one has gotten a little bit beaten up. This one's seen some better days. I don't know if all of this happened in it being shipped or what happened here with this book, so I may reach out to Thrift Books about that, because this one's got some things going on with it. But this one is a Discovery of Witches. I actually picked up the Book of Life, not realizing that this was book 3 in the series, so this is book 1. I picked that up so I could read that first, because I already have book 3, so this was actually my last book haul. Then we have The Curious Charms of Arthur Pepper. Then the last one in this one is People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I've read one of her books before and absolutely loved it. I love her writing, and so I want to pick up more books by her. We have Finley Donovan is Killing It. I know this one's a mystery. I know that she's a single mom, and I've heard tons of good things about it. The Late Murder of Mrs. Willoughby by Claudia Gray. I've been picking up some more Sherlock Holmes type books. Like I said, I really enjoy mysteries that are kind of like set similar to Sherlock Holmes, so I feel like that's how this one is going to be. And then we have The Murder of Wickman by Claudia Gray. I think that maybe they're part of a series, because if I'm ordering the 2 books together, then I feel like that they might go together, but I'm not 100% sure. I don't always remember exactly why I bought books until I start reading it, and then it comes back to me. Okay. More books from Thrift Books. So the first one that we have in this one is The Wedding Date. This is one that I have been seeing all over. It always pops up in books recommended for me, so I decided to pick it up. It is a contemporary romance. We have Seven X's, Seven Mischances, Who Was the One That Got Away by Lucy Vines. This one I love the concept of, and this is probably one that I'll read very soon. And then we have The Proposal by Jasmine Gilligree. This one is also a contemporary romance book. I don't look too far into exactly what the book is about, or like I will whenever that I pick it up, but then I'll kind of forget about it until I actually pick the book up to read it again. So I'm probably not gonna be the best at telling you a ton about these books until that I read them and you see them in my recaps. So this one is 3 books as well. Usually I'll kind of order in like 3 books at a time because you get free shipping if you're over $15. So if I do like a $7 book that I use a free reward for, and then I have like another like $6 book, I still need like one more to get me to the free shipping. So that's why you'll usually see like 3 of them. I have a Sherlock Holmes book. Again, we were just talking about Sherlock Holmes. Baseball Great. This is one I bought for my little brother to read. And then we have The Case for Jamie, again, part of the Charlotte Holmes series. And then I'll definitely take this like library protective cover off. That's usually what I do if I buy library books. I'll take the sleeve out of this little like protective case they put on it to make it feel more like my book rather than me reading a library book. And then we have the very last one. This one's probably also 3 books. So this one is 2 books, and these are 2 that I am like super excited for. These are 2 that I have been like having on my wish list for a while. We have The Husbands by Holly Gramazio. So husbands just keep appearing like from her attic, and so I don't know if it's every time she goes up there or like every time she comes home there's just like a new husband there. So I love the concept of this one. I feel like it's gonna be a really funny book. And then we have The Last Chance Library by Freya Sampson. Yes, Sampson. This one I have heard so many great things about too, and I've had it on my list of something that I've wanted to read for a while. And like I said earlier, I love any kind of book that has to do with books. So I know this is one that I'm going to love. Now let's jump into some books from Book Outlet. I've ordered from Book Outlet a few times. I do feel like that their shipping does take a while. So don't expect to get your packages like crazy fast if you order from them. But I have liked all the books that I've gotten. So they basically buy overstock books and then sell them. And so where the majority of these books came from is their $5.99 sale that they had. Sadly, it has ended now. But they had tons and tons of books for $5.99. So they sell books that are ones that usually are pretty recent releases that you're not going to find for less than $5.99 anywhere else. And then I also bought, I believe, a series as well. So let's get into the first one. Okay. So the first thing I bought is 2 books that I may not actually read, but I want to display on my bookshelf regardless. So I bought 2 Bridgerton books. So we have books, I believe this is 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, or just book 1 and 2. They're pretty thick, so I feel like this is 2 books in one. I think this is books 1 through 4. Yes, so we have The Duke and I, The Viscount Who Loved Me, and then we have An Offer from a Gentleman and Romancing Mr. Bridgerton. So these are the first 4 books in the series. I love the show. I don't know if I actually read the books or not, but these are ones that I definitely want to be displaying on my shelf. And for $5.99 each, I know that these are way more expensive if you actually buy them new on like Amazon or on a different website. So I love the sprayed edges. These are just, they're so cute. I love them. Then we have Runaway Love by Melanie Harlow. And it's got the little kisses on it. And this one has exclusive bonus material in it as well. Ayana Everson's Rules for Commuting by Claire Pooley. I've heard a few things about this author, and so I wanted to pick up this book. It says this feel-good ensemble story will bring joy to readers who loved anxious people, and Eleanor Oliphant is completely fine. So I love those types of books. I feel like this is one I will love as well. And then the last one in this box is The Blonde Identity by Allie Carter. This is one that I've been seeing all over. Haven't looked too much into, but seemed pretty interesting to me. And it's not too big of a book, so I feel like it should be a pretty fast read. Should be a pretty fast read. Okay, let's move some books over to make room for our next box. Okay, this one is bigger than the last one. I didn't know like which order was which, but then I kind of moved the boxes around, so no idea what is going to be in this box. I will say that they're packaged well, so I feel like that your books are good. Okay. Which I did end up having some points to use, which was nice. So I saved a little bit of money on this one with my points. But again, for a $5.99 book sale, I just feel like that's not something that I can pass up. So the first one is Delphine Jones Takes a Chance. It's an uplifting celebration of mothers, daughters, and female friendship. I feel like if there's a book, there's a mom in it, I'm probably going to pick it up. I feel like I can relate to those books pretty well. We have Binding 13. I've seen tons of people reading this book, loving this book. I'm not 100% sure exactly what it's about, but I picked it up. And then I picked up Bookshops and Bone Dust by Travis Baldry. This is one that's, looking at the reviews, a lot of people have loved, and I feel like that it's a fantasy that is right up my alley. It's a spellbinding read that somehow manages to be both gripping and restful, so hopefully it'll be a little bit more of a cozy fantasy. That's kind of the vibe that I've gotten from the reviews that I've read about this book. Then we have The Cautious Traveler's Guide to the Wastelands by Sarah Brooks. I love the cover of this. It is so cute. I've definitely been picking up more fantasies recently. Fantasy and romance is probably the most of what that I read out of everything. Then the next two I picked up are part of a series. So we have The Foxglove King and The Hemlock Queen, both by Hannah Whitman. So this one is part of a series. So this is book 1 and book 2. And I love how like the edges of the book are, where it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Just like they're not like the just flat page like edges. I don't know. I like books like that, even if I can't truly explain them. So these are both fantasy books. So I picked up both of these. I feel like that it's a series that I will enjoy. Then we have Murder Your Employer, the McMaster's Guide to Homicide by Rupert Holmes. So this one, again, kind of like Sherlock Holmes type thing, and the author's last name is Holmes, which is pretty cool too. So I've been getting a little bit more into mysteries. So I'm not like a huge like thriller person, but I feel like that some mysteries I like. The last book I just read was a mystery, so I'm happy to be picking up more mysteries. I don't think I picked up this book. I think that they might have added this in. I know that I had a book in this order that was out of stock that they refunded me. So maybe they added this book in there because of that. Or maybe they didn't mean to put this one in here, but I definitely did not order a Christmas book. So it was a nice surprise. This one is Christmas at Fireside Cabins. So this one, I know I definitely did not order Christmas books because I'm trying to get more summery type things if I'm ordering books. So I know I definitely did not buy this one. So that was a nice surprise. Then we have Forging Silver into Stars by Bridget Kimmerer. I don't know how to say that one. I'm so bad at pronouncing names sometimes. So I love the sprayed edges on this one. They had ones with the purple edges and ones without. So I went with the one with the purple edges. Forbidden Magic, Secret Romance, Dangerous Alliances. I love a good romantasy. I feel like that's what this one's going to be. So like I said, I love to read fantasy, so I've been picking up a lot of those. Then we have the Wedding Dress Sewing Circle. This one is, I believe, historical fiction. I love reading historical fictions and kind of mixing them in between romance books and fantasies. And I feel like I learned a lot I'm not a huge history person, but if I'm reading it in like the form of a historical fiction, I feel like I'm learning so much more. Then the last book in this box is Cover Story by Susan Rigetty. So this is going to be an interesting one. We have 2 boxes left from Book Outlet. So let's hop into these 2. It's actually the first 2 boxes I got from Book Outlet. So they have been sitting over there in a corner for a little while until I've gotten around to opening these up. I did order some bookshelves from IKEA. They're going to be a little bit more of a temporary solution until I can actually go to IKEA and get the bigger bookshelves that I want to. But it is a 4.5 hour drive, so it is something that will be happening a little bit further in the future. So until then, I ordered some bookshelves. They were a little bit cheaper that I will be setting up, and I will definitely be doing a video of that. So feel free to follow me if you want to see me setting up my bookshelf and adding all these books to it, because the bookshelf behind me is already very, very full from my last book haul. So this one only has a few things in it, but they're things I'm so excited to read. We have 5 Broken Blades. Says let the best liar win. This one has sprayed edges. Some of these books that you get from Book Outlet, you might see like a little black dot just because where they are overstock, but that's like pretty much the extent to what I've seen on some of these. So this one was originally from Target. So I love the sprayed edges on it. It is just so beautiful. And this is a book that I've been wanting to pick up, but the cheapest I've seen it is like $15, $20. So getting it for $5.99 was a steal. Also picked up Last Chance Books. Book Lovers Can Be Haters Too by Kelsey Rodkey. Again, I love a book about books, so had to pick that one up. And then I picked up, so this box aside. Then I picked up A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. It's the whole series. And this series I've been seeing for like $60 to $100, and I got it for $37. So getting 5 books for $37 I felt like was a great deal. I don't know if I'll read the whole series because I know that they get spicier as you go into the series. So I may only read 2 or 3 of these books, but I have the whole series in case that I do decide that I want to continue it and just skip over some scenes. Okay, this one is a lot of books because I went a little bit crazy. So, but again, for $5.99 books, I feel like that is worth it. So, first one I have is I Hope This Finds You Well by Natalie Sue. This one's one I've been wanting to pick up for a while, and it's also on Kindle Unlimited. So I like books where I can read the physical copy, but then also have it on my Kindle for bedtime. I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson and absolutely loved it. I finished it in one day because I had to know what was going on. So I picked up the other 2 books in the series. So we have Good Girl, Bad Blood and As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. Then we have Give Me a Sign by Anna Sortino. So this couple, I don't know if both of them are deaf or it's just one of them is deaf, but I did take sign language in college. It's always been something that I've wanted to be fluent in, and so a book with sign language in it, I know that I'm going to love this romance. Then we have The Rom-Commers by Catherine Center. I also have Hello Strangers by Catherine Center. I've just heard so many good things about her romances, so I'm happy to have this one. Then I picked up Heir of Fire by Sarah J. Maas. So I have the first book and the prequel of the Throne of Glass series. And then I picked this one up, which I believe is the 3rd book. But since it was $5.99, I decided to pick it up now instead of waiting until after I already have the 2nd book. Then we have This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. I seen this in someone's book they were reading video that I watched, and they were just the way they're talking about it, about this book, I felt like it was one that I would love. It is a romance. Then I picked up The Ministry of Time by Kayleen Bradley. This one, I've heard so many people like absolutely love this. This was some people's like favorite book of 2024. Then we have Heaven Breaker by Sarah Wolf. This one is a fantasy. Again, beautiful sprayed edges. This one originally came from Target. Then we have The Apprentice to the Villain. I have The Assistant to the Villain. It is a book that I plan on reading very soon. It might be the next book that I read. So I want to pick up Apprentice to the Villain. And then I know that there is a third book coming out, I believe, this year by Hannah Nicole Meyer. And I've heard a lot of good things about her books. I also bought Must Love Books by Shauna Robinson. Again, I love a book with books in it, so I'm sure this is one that I will be a fan of. And it's not too big of a book, so it shouldn't take me too long to read this one. And then the very last book is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. This one is a romance. It's ones that I've seen so many people love, and one that I definitely know that I want to read. Okay, I zoomed you back out for the end of this video. Thank you for sticking around with me for this book haul. Hopefully you can kind of see some of the books, and then I have tons of boxes and packages over here to figure out what to do with now that we opened up. So I had so much fun doing this with you. I also wore a book related sweatshirt. It says, "This is the shirt I wear when I'm looking for book recommendations." LOL, just kidding. I'm always on the lookout for new and awesome book recommendations. I got this on Etsy recently and it is so soft. I've been absolutely loving it. And it felt appropriate for this video. So hope you've enjoyed this book haul with me. Follow me for more books and I will have out my books I read in February very soon. And then maybe in my March video, you'll see some of these been read.